Okay, Coach Kent, IamU.sports, and today our guest, Phillip Gamble. Phillip, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I'm looking forward to whatever questions you got to ask me, basically.
Yeah, no problem. So today we just want to, go through your story, how everything began and what led up to where you are now in Germany. All right, so you're from Bainbridge, Georgia, but you're originally from New York,
Yeah,
right?
I was born in Rochester, New York, but my mom and my dad, they separated when I was 7 years old, and so therefore, she wasn't, really big on the city life, so she wanted to move back to our family. Our family is from, southern Georgia, so that's where we just moved to Bainbridge, Georgia with most of my family on my mom's side, basically.
Okay. And do you remember what it was like in Rochester?
Yeah, cold. And like I said, it was fun. I had a lot of my dad's side of the family still there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the upbringing that my mom wanted us to live in, basically. So she didn't want us around that that type of city life. So
okay.
That's why she took us to the country.
Okay. And about how old were you when you moved down to Bainbridge, Georgia?
Well, we moved when I was 10 years old, so that would have been 1995, I think, 1995. And, it was just a big transition for us to, be up north, snow all the time. Well, not all the time, but most of the winter time.
Yeah.
But then moved to Georgia where it is hot. And, it was a big culture shock, I would say.
Okay. And you mentioned that your mom didn't really feel like the city life, well, not the city life, but the city life in Rochester was the life or the upbringing she wanted for you all. So how would you describe Rochester?
Rochester right now it's a little bit hard, but they have came a long way. When I was younger, it wasn't that bad as of the crime rate, but now it's one of top 20 dangerous cities in America.
Wow.
Just to talk back about it, I lost my father to gun violence. Like I said,
condolences, man. I'm sorry.
That's no problem. He put us. To go back, my father was a street pharmacist.
Okay.
I don't want to call him a drug dealer because, like you said, you got big tech. They're drug dealers also.
Right.
So we don't call big tech drug dealers. So I'll call them street pharmacists. Mm-hmm. And like I said, when we were younger, we had everything. We didn't have nothing to worry about. But like my mom, she just got pretty much fed up with everybody coming in and out of the house and things like that. Yeah. And she just didn't want us around that environment anymore. So that was the reason why we moved to Bainbridge. To Georgia, first of all. Yeah.
Right. So you said moving back. So that means your mom's from Bainbridge,
Yeah, my mom
Georgia.
is from Donsonville, Georgia.
Donsonville, okay.
This is the next county over. And, all of my mom's side of the family, they're from the southern part of Georgia, basically.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And your dad's from Rochester?
Yeah, everybody's from Rochester. But it's like, if you look back, if you ask most people in Bainbridge, Georgia, everybody that were basically freed slaves, they went to Rochester.
Okay.
Or there was a group that went to Rochester and everybody went. Because everybody in Bainbridge, Georgia, they got some type of family. Oh, you from Rochester? Oh, I got family in Rochester.
Right.
But it's, it's like just thinking back from the history, when one person got, everybody just went,
Right.
So
when one person went somewhere and realized, okay, it's safe, we can live here, we can earn money.
Yeah.
Everybody else goes
That's
up there too.
Mostly everybody's journey, basically. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have one brother, one sister. Both are younger. Daryl and Shaniqua. Daryl Gamble and Shaniqua Daniels. And like me and my brother have the same father, but my sister, she had a different dad. Like I said, when my dad and mom split up, of course, people move on.
Right.
And, that didn't work out with my sister's father. So, my mom just took the whole family, packed up, left, single mother, and she did her best. She was to raise us the good way, basically.
Right. And you mentioned, of course, that y'all moved back to Bainbridge, Georgia. So all three of you were born in Rochester, or in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you also mentioned was that moving from Rochester down to Bainbridge, Georgia.
Yeah.
I've been there. Like I told you, my dad's from there.
Yeah.
Well, that side of my family's from Bainbridge. And you mentioned the culture shock. So how would you describe Bainbridge?
Yeah, it's a small town, one high school, you know, at the time we had 2 middle schools, tons of elementary schools. And it was different because, you know, before we left to go to Bainbridge, my grandfather, he got married to a white woman at the time, you know, so therefore we were...
That was in Rochester?
Right, in Rochester, before we moved, and we were already, you know, familiar with whites and blacks and things like that because it's normal up there.
Right.
And, yeah, also I have 2 mixed aunts, you know, that are white and black, and they're younger than me, so it's a little bit weird to have aunts younger than you, but, you know, it is how it is. There's all over the world like that.
Right. Sorry, but you're saying you were, in Rochester, you were already familiar with interracial dating.
Interracial things, you know, because we were at, before we left in the 3rd grade, I was at a Grace Christian school.
Okay.
So, you know, wearing, you know, suits and things like that, but hanging out with, you know, different races all over. So it wasn't that we didn't see color. We were just kids at the time, and you're not looking, you know, color. That's my friend and things like that. And white or black, it was like that in New York, basically.
Okay. And then you moved down to Bainbridge. So what was it like growing up? What was it like growing up there? Especially talking about, I mean, I'm sure you mentioned that for a reason, as far as, you know, you were used to seeing interracial activities in Rochester, but, you know, we know Bainbridge, so what was it like growing up there?
I mean, you had different sides of Bainbridge. You had your the west side, I grew up on the west side of Bainbridge. You have across the river, the east side, and things like that, and then you have your more suburb part of the town. And like I said, we all grew up together, whites, blacks, Mexicans, but you know, actually dating each other, it was, you know, not forbidden, but it was frowned upon, I would say. And just growing up, you know, with, you know, tons of white friends, different friends and things like that, it was okay. And like I said, I didn't see it until actually when Georgia changed our state flag. You know, that was, you know, middle...
Yeah, it was May 2003, but I want to come to that later.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you about that, But yeah, so for you, it was... You just pretty much adapted to the situation.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it was different before. It was different in Rochester before you moved down to Georgia. But okay, in Georgia and Bainbridge is like this. You know, we can all be friends, but we kind of, when it comes to dating, we stay in our group, or we're supposed to. That's you know, that's how it seems.
Yeah. I mean, after basically, not to cut you off, after 5:30, you're back to your life because you have school 8 o'clock, practice to 3 o'clock, 5:30, you're back. Go back home, you live your normal life. And during that time, therefore, everybody was friends. But like I said, after that time, you know, you're just a number or a random person. So that's how it was, you know.
Okay. And so how did you eventually get into sports, though?
Well, just think about my whole family, sports people. Like I said, I got tons of cousins that played sports. My oldest aunt, she also, you know, tried out for the WNBA when it first came out. So that's why in New York, we're really basketball players. We really didn't play that much football. We throw out in the street, but like organized sport, we were just into basketball. And like I said, when we moved to Georgia, my oldest cousin, Phillip Daniels, he played the NFL 14 years. And he was just going to college at Georgia. And like I said, it's like, okay, we got to follow his footsteps. And my other oldest cousin, Cedric, he went to play basketball, but he ended up going to the Army. But like I said, it was just the seeing my oldest cousin go to the college, we had to follow those footsteps. And that was in everybody's family. You see one person got to go, and just to get out the situation where, you know, college is the only place where it will get you out of these situations and trying to make it to the NFL, basically.
Right, okay. So... kind of, I guess you can say becoming a pro was kind of like motivation. Well, not really not becoming a pro, but okay, one person in my family was able to achieve this. You know, I can do it too, and I can maybe do it better. For example, you know, to help improve the current situation. Or whatever that may be. I
mean, go back to that. The current situation when we moved to Dawsonville, it was 12 people in a 3-bedroom trailer.
Okay, so first you moved to Dawsonville.
Yeah, we moved to Dawsonville before, and my mom, she was like, it was just too many people. I had my cousins, family, you know, my aunts, kids. They were still there. 12 people in a 3-bedroom trailer in the country. Like,
Yeah.
this is not, you know, some people say they stay in the country, but the country is when you hear at night, you're like, why the dogs are barking? Because they're fighting with coyotes in the mouth. Now, that's the country. You know, it's always where we couldn't go out in the backyard unless we had like a little, you know, pellet gun or shotgun. Because we didn't know where the coyotes were hiding and things like that. And when we wake up in the morning, all our dogs got scratching, bleeding, because they're fighting. Because in Donaldsonville, we used to burn our trash. So we put in all the food out there and just burn in the trash. So therefore, it's attracting animals.
Right.
So that's why you're like 7, 8 dogs out there just protecting the yards and things like that. And that was a big shock for me in a way, you know.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was fun, though. It was a good experience.
Yeah, okay.